name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello!
Yo!
Hello!
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see all of your gorgeous faces once again. We are here. We are playing the premiere Dungeons & Dragons homebrew campaign, The Return of the Giants. Quick announcements before we jump into today's session. We have an apology from Dave. He's unable to make it tonight. We did know in advance. I can't remember if we said at the time last week. I can't remember. I may not have said last week, but he did let us know last week. I can't remember if I said he wouldn't be here, but Dave unfortunately can't make it tonight. So I will play the character of Harry. Easy done. It's the least taxing voice for me to do, I would say, compared to the ones I've had to cover recently, like Styx from Curse of Strahd. So very, very happy that I can do a nice, easy Harry accent. I think quick PSA for our southeast Queensland friends. The cyclone unfortunately has not deviated from its original course, and the estimations, the worst case estimations of what its power would be when it struck, the category it would be, are looking like they're going to be pretty spot on. It's going to be a very high category 2, possibly even getting up to a cat 3 by the time it makes landfall in Brisbane. It is going to be exceptionally dangerous. Please do not be outside. If you have not had a chance to secure items outside your home, you need to do it right now. It is going to be pretty rough for everyone. Sunshine Coast all the way down to northern New South Wales, so Brisbane, Gold Coast as well. Flooding, if you're in an area that floods, there are maps up that you can double check and see. They've just revised both the Brisbane and the Gold Coast flood map, the expected area that's going to be affected by the floods. I'm quite grateful that we recently moved my grandma into a new place. Where she used to be 2 years ago is definitely underwater with the new updated flood map. So really stoked that we've got her in a new place that is much safer. So if you haven't checked the new flood maps, you can just Google Cyclone Alfred, Brisbane, Cyclone Alfred, Gold Coast, and you'll find the flood maps. They're being shared pretty widely on social media right now as well, so make sure you check the flood maps. All the obvious things to do, and just make sure you're safe. Make sure you got some water. We are going to lose power for a couple of days, I think, at this stage. It's looking like we definitely will. So just stay safe, everybody. It's going to be rough.
Just to add on, if you can, have an evacuation plan in place that if, say, you lose your roof, know where you're going to go. Have a go bag packed, with all your medication, anything that you might need as well if you
Passports,
do need to
paperwork,
ditch in a fucking dash.
Yeah, especially with the context of it being possibly a Cat 3. I think it's 140 kilometer an hour winds and above. That's when roof tiles can be stripped from a roof. So we're going to be just edging on that from the looks of things. So
SEQ, not cyclone rated building codes.
Yes, because we don't get cyclones here prior to climate change. So
50 years ago we had one.
Yeah, and it was a once in a 200-year event 50 years ago. So so everyone who's in Southeast Queensland, this is less for the people watching the recorded episode. If you're watching this recorded, I hope you're okay. I hope you're safe. For those of you watching this live, please make sure if you haven't done the preparations you need to do, I'm actually going to tell you to stop watching this and go and do them. Come back. The recorded episode will be there for you afterwards, but you need to get on that now. It's going to be a rough 2 or 3 days for residents of Queensland. And the last warning I have to share, because it happens every single time there's flooding, if there is floodwater on a road, do not drive through it. We have far too many people lose their lives every single flood in Queensland to driving through what looks like it is shallower water than it is. We lose people every single time there's flooding. It'd be really great if we don't lose a single person to that this year. That would be amazing. Yeah. So sorry to get really serious, but there's some serious stuff going on. Now let's have some fantasy escapism and pretend that there's not a massive storm just there right behind me, just coming in quick. We will, obviously, the Queensland team will post in the Discord, let everyone know that we're safe. I'll do a quick check and make sure we're all good. Tonight, that's basically Christian, Ali, and I. I'll make sure we let you guys know we're all okay on the Discord once the initial storm front passes and we're out of the worst of the wind danger. You're north side Christian, aren't you? So your flooding's probably slightly less of a problem for you, but the winds are going to be rough for you for sure. Looks like the rain's mostly trailing down that southern portion of the spiral arm.
I was actually just looking at it now, and the areas that it says is meant to flood is kind of close, but honestly, we should be okay. And then with the winds, I live in a gated community, so that might help with all of the shielding around on all different sides of other houses.
The only problem is if your neighbors haven't done the responsible thing, now what's in their backyard becomes missiles aimed at everyone.
Bro, they're not. And emails were sent out to the entire gate. Topic for my personal life.
Yeah. I watched our neighbor get half a door and like prop it up against their bins, and I'm just like, that's not enough. Like, that's not enough. It's a screen door. It's not enough. So, yeah.
Fill the bins with water. Fill your wheelie bins with water.
I just put them in the garage. Done.
Oh, if you can. Have you got
just put them in the garage. Yeah, true. I mean, I've committed. Our shed's going to be gone by the end of this. It's atrociously built. It floods even when there's mild rain. Like, I've moved everything out of the shed. I know our shed's not going to survive this. I will take photos afterwards if you want to see what it looks like when a shed gets nuked. It's not going to make it through okay. I've left a little miniature in there. I want to see if it's there when we get back. There was a little misprinted orc miniature I did when I first was doing 3D printing. It's in the middle of the shed. I'm going to see if he survives.
Rest in peace, Owen's shed, I guess.
Yeah, R.I.P.
And orc miniature.
Press F for respects. F to pay respects.
Yeah, I want to see it before and after, actually. That'd be great.
Okay, I could do it before and after. Sweet as. Awesome. Unless there's any other news to share, fun news. To keep you guys tided over, because obviously we might lose power and stuff, I've uploaded a whole bunch of episodes of Aloft. They'll be coming out on YouTube. Please enjoy. If we aren't able to do any streaming on Monday or Tuesday, I've got enough episodes to kind of keep it covered for next week. I don't think we'll lose power for that long, though. Normally, like, the Queensland SES team, the search and rescue team, and the Queensland emergency response, they're pretty quick at getting stuff out of the way for then people to come back in and fix those problems. And most of Queensland is now underground power lines, which aren't obviously affected by high winds or storms or floods, which is why we've switched to them. So I think we'll be okay for the most part, but just in case we lose power for a prolonged period of time, I've got a whole bunch of episodes of Aloft recorded, ready to go to keep you guys entertained. Perfect. Which is very fitting, given that it's all about surviving massive storms through Sky Islands and trying to like navigate through. It's quite entertainingly ironic. Fitting. Yeah, perfect. I absolutely nailed that. Well, I mean, it would have been more awkward if I played Raft and the whole place had flooded. That would have been a bit more on the nose. We'll see. Let's do our recap. Let's jump into the session without any further ado. I've got a nice solid recap. Obviously, Sai, you weren't with us last week because you were getting fucked over by airlines. Press F for respects for Sai.
I visited 3 cities in one day just to get home. So
yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. We've got a nice recap to get you back in. You didn't miss too much. Mostly a bit of revelry and a bit of downtime fun. So nothing too crazy. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, is taking on the threat posed by the return of the giants. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew have just returned to the surface after delving deep into the Underdark, taking on the threat of stone giants under the influence of a devil and a Dwergar. With Mira currently in a meeting with the Oxenfurt Council, and Lockie off organising their catch-up with Sinmare, the team had some spare time to explore the city. Heading over to the Tempest Guild blacksmith, a tabaxi called Howls Under the Earth, the team traded some items they had recovered, including Bahir skin and a mithril belt, in exchange for supplies and enchanted items. While the party were focused on the items they had recovered, Harry slipped away and headed toward the Central Merchant Bank of Oxenfurt and the secret Thieves Guild headquarters contained within. Reporting to Secret, a tiefling businesswoman and current head of the Oxenfurt chapter of the Thieves Guild, Harry shared the details of his adventures with the Tempest Guild. Meanwhile, back at the Night Hall, the group headed into Griswold's tower to meet with the gnome Artificer. After getting some items appraised and Lyra scanned for signs of fey mischief, the focus soon turned to the Heartstones, Griswold examining them and then needing some quiet time to analyse the results. While Bart made his way toward the airship docks, the rest of the team reunited with Harry and forged their way down toward the oceanside docks and the magic tattoo parlor they had visited previously there. Lyra shared the ingredients and components they had gathered in the Underdark and excitedly began to flip through the catalogue of available tattoos with her companions. With everyone but Ember deciding on their favourite tattoos, the team endured the discomfort of the needle as lines of glowing ink began to etch across their skin. Meanwhile, Bart passed by the busy Aarakocra Messenger Guild tower, looking up as a small group of messengers began to dispatch what looked like a large number of paper flyers. Curious, but cautious about being spotted, Bart ducked into a small, almost hidden store looking a bit like an antique shop. Meeting with the owner, a salamander-looking dragonborn called Salazar, Bart found himself walking away clutching a sealed earthenware bowl marked with wind patterns and a scroll depicting some martial art forms. Rejoining the team at the tattoo shop, the group was so impressed with Inkspren's work they decided to offer her a job with the guild. While Harry offered to accompany Inkspren to the harbour before guiding her back to the Night Hall, the rest of the team made their way through the firelit streets toward the unseen university, the large sandstone walls and looming towers rising high above the nearby houses. Fortuitously, the team bumped into Professor Grell making his way down the steps to the Grand Hall, and together they made their way to the Wizard's Hat Tavern to share their news from the Underdark. Despite the initial sadness upon learning of his colleague's demise, a few drinks later the mood had shifted to one of revelry, Bart going a little wild and attracting the attention of the nearby students with his first experience imbibing alcohol. After the revelry escalated to involve some property damage, the team bade a hasty retreat back to the Night Hall. Meanwhile, Harry and Inkspren shared an ice cream and a nice walk in the nearby park under the light of the twin moons, Phoebe and Allura. With their stroll eventually taking them toward the Night Hall, the team reunited and made their way inside. Awaiting them was Mira, keen to hear of their journey and the information they had gathered along the way. Reporting all that they had been through, the team also informed her of the expedition the Society of Brilliance were currently launching in Chiari, excavating some old site over towards the north. We left off last session, though, as the team had finished their account of the events in the Underdark, and the conversation had turned toward the Heartstones and the Devil Vice, who had corrupted one. And that is where we left off last session. We jump straight back in as you sit in the opulent smoking room. I don't want to say smoking room, opulent meeting room inside the Night Hall, the home of the Tempest Guild. Plush leather couches, warm candlelight spilling through the open doorway and sort of lowering down from the chandelier above you. On the side tables on either side of you, warm drinks have been served, teas and coffees, things like that. Behind you, bookshelves lined with these beautifully ornate leather-bound volumes and tomes. Many, many different topics covered, from the history of Oxenfurt to some strange account on the anatomy of the lesser-known spotted drake. But as you all sit around, having just recounted the events that had occurred in the Underdark, taking Mira through step by step everything that you'd experienced from your initial contact with the gnomes outside the entrance, just a little bit to the north of Green Nest, and then your encounter with Bart, your fight with the Behir in Blindenstone, and then your eventual, I would say, confrontation with the Dwergar and with Obsidian Foot. Mira sort of pauses for a moment, nodding, the firelight glinting off her silver and red mottled scales as she takes this all in for a moment.
Well, that is a lot. You've been through some very tough times, and I know that we said you were there to observe and report back, but do not feel like you have failed in this mission. The Tempest Guild, we have a saying that I believe one of our previous members coined multiple times, Jin. No plan survives contact with the Tempest Guild, and that has certainly been true. We often find that our plans fall apart quite quickly, but improvisation, that is the mark of a true adventurer. You have shown your skill in this area. I am very proud of all of you. So,
glad to hear.
Oh, well, Lyra, you know I've travelled with you before. I guess this was more for the others, but I'm still proud of you, Lyra. Still proud of you. Has not changed.
You went a little bit off the rails. I was a little bit worried.
No, that's you more than anyone know that things tend to go off the rails around us quite a lot. So, I wanted to talk a little more about the Heartstones, but you had asked if I had one. No. I arrived at Laspire soon after you had acquired yours. You say now that you had found them in the cellar of this tiefling's tavern. Weiss was his name, the one I spoke to briefly. I might have given him a bit of a scare.
Some of us, yes, but Bart and Ember and Threign, I think they all, their heartstones have come from other sources as well, so there's definitely more out there.
That's all mine.
You stole yours?
We also came across some cultists back when we were in Laspire from the elemental planes, and they seem to have these stones as well, which is concerning considering they were a rather large number. Well, at least their leader did. I didn't actually check to see if they all had them.
So these things are not common, but not necessarily uncommon either. I should be on the lookout.
Threign said that it was a he received his from his clan, I believe, or from his tribe as some sort of mark or some sort of honorary symbol.
Selection process or something.
Yes, so I believe it could be prevalent within certain giant affiliated groups.
Threign is with you as you point this out, Niles. You watch as Threign nods. I did say he was with you guys before, so I've got to stick with that canon now. Threign nods and goes,
Yes, it is a great honor to have received Heartstone. This is relic from giants that we have carried and protected these many years. For many generations we have looked after and protected giant relics. This is just one of them.
I actually haven't spoken. Threign, how many do you have in your tribe? Do you have many of these?
There was only the one of these, the Heartstones. There were other giant relics as well, though. We had a broken horn that had been cleaved into, a very large horn that was said to belong to the Frostcarver clan for many generations. There was also the fragments of Ulfric's belt. Very powerful giants. My ancestor, I have mentioned many times. Yes, shards of his belt, the metal shielding that was around the center of his belt.
That belt. I mean, given that, all the Heartstones and everything, they sort of reactivated or whatever it is since the giants returned, do you think the belt would now be repairable? Like, if there was something that was preventing you from repairing it earlier? I mean, it'd be kind of cool to wear something of your ancestor.
We did not repair because we did not want to. This is holy relic of giants. We did not want to change or affect this. Our melting down and reforging of it would have been
sacrilegious.
It would have, maybe not religious, but I did use the word.
What if a giant reforged it? I mean, would it still be?
No. You have brought up very good point. If we travel north, when we travel north again, I will make sure I speak with Frostcarver clan. I will collect all of the broken giant relics, and I will find worthy frost giant forgesmith to remake them.
Actually, in Ember, did you have anything like this in your grove? Being a Firbolg and also affiliated with the giants, did you have any giant tech where you were from?
Actually, I probably don't think Ember would know. I think we're very natural kind of.
Yeah, not so much technology in your grove, Ember, but a lot of the stories say that your skill with glass blowing, a lot of the knowledge that you've passed down through generations with the use of glass. The stories are that a lot of those recipes, a lot of the techniques that were taught to you by the fire giants long ago, and those have been passed down through generations. So I would say it's less of the physicality of the items. It's more for the Firbolgs at least, they carry the knowledge of the previous generations forwards, and that's what they hold dear. Not physical items to treasure, but the knowledge that the giants had gifted them. But you're right, the Firbolgs generally live in enclaves away from society. Technology's not something that interests them. It's more the magic that they can wield and use to their benefit. And as a member of the Wildfire Druids, it's the fire magic that you've cultivated and worked with your whole life.
Interesting.
So, yeah, no, it's not something that we deal with much. We're just we work with our nature. We work with everything around us. We are aware of the area, but that's no actual technology. This little heart stone is probably the closest I've come to something.
Ah, interesting.
And you said there was more to this vice. We had started to talk about him and we got sidetracked a little. I want to circle back to that. Vice, you said there was more to him that meets the eye? There was something about him.
Yeah, we think he's a Cambion.
Yes.
Cambion.
Well, or possibly something stronger.
Or Prince.
Okay,
Yeah,
I did somewhat threaten him, so that would be the second powerful demonic entity that I have now threatened. It is not something I wanted to make a habit of. I wanted to stop at Tiamat, but okay.
He was an interesting fellow.
Did you want to speak to him?
Maybe not right now, but
Do you have a direct line of communication? Sorry, for Ember's
Bard.
benefit, for Simon's benefit, Bard is still a bit drunk. Bard had never had alcohol before. He tried alcohol for the first time, got White Owl wasted on a whole bunch of blue cocktails.
White Owl wasted.
Thank you.
That's true.
He got Barn Owl wasted on a whole bunch of...
Bard had never drunk before. He's still a boy.
So is he having a good time or is he having a hoot?
He's having a
Straight
hoot.
to
Oh,
the-
Nice.
the biggest hoot.
People come for the puns. That's the fact.
Yeah. Well, she's like, do you have a way to talk to him? Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's maybe something
soul
we
coin.
do later. Yeah, a soul coin.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
much
actually,
about soul coins? What they are,
no,
how
and
they
I
are
am
made?
thinking,
Is it like a heartstone but for devils?
of souls?
Well, my understanding of soul coins is that a mortal soul is crushed and melted into this infernal alloy to create a soul coin. It is a human soul or a humanoid soul trapped in there. The heartstones, I did not think that they were trapping souls, although your conversation and what we spoke about before now makes me wonder if something is contained within these gems, something more than just memories.
I didn't. I thought it was my soul that would get damaged. I didn't realize it was someone else's.
Oh no, it is someone else's. The coin is used as currency, and I mean, I have some knowledge of the infernal planes, and on Avernus at least, they burn these as fuel for their engines. There are machinery that feed on the soul, and you put coins in, and it burns the coins away to provide energy and power. It is an abhorrent practice, yes.
Amir, is there any way to get the souls out of a soul coin? I mean, I know they've kind of been compressed and stuck in, but I mean, we got my soul back from the Feywilds and floating around in the middle of nowhere. Like, I mean, if we do manage to find a way to extract the soul, could we, ask the flesh sculptor? Find
That
out
is
some
something
body
I would
parts?
love to do if possible. I always thought I was just hurting myself for others, and I was fine with that, but I don't want to hurt someone else's soul.
Yes, I must admit my knowledge is somewhat lacking in this area. Maybe someone at the university, or maybe the flesh sculptor himself. He seemed to know a lot about souls and how they work. When we brought
just
you
stepping
back,
out.
yes, when we revived you, Lyra, he seemed very knowledgeable. Although, keep in mind, we did need to use a wish spell to help with that, the power of a wish spell. So, I imagine it is not something that is easy. But I would not say it is impossible. I have seen too many impossible things to use that word to describe anything now. So, I am sure there is a way.
It is worth considering. But on the topic of the infernal and hell, our friend Vice, he seemed like he was desperate for whatever was in the hammer, the power that seemed to be powering it, and he mentioned that there was some sort of conflict or war happening in Avernus. Suppose you haven't heard anything about that?
I mean, not beyond what we knew would happen when we thwarted Tiamat's plans. We knew that this was her attempt to break through, to arrive in Ostea was a gamble, and by blocking her, we opened her up to attack. It showed her weakness to the other princes of the Hells, which, I mean, I did hope that it would result in some sort of inner conflict, because while the demons and devils are fighting themselves, they are not coming here to fight us, or to, like, it's harder for them to focus, split their attention between multiple fronts. So I hoped that there would be some consequences for the Nine Hells as a result of this, something bad, something awful for them.
Well, there certainly were consequences. Obsidian Foot was under this Cambion's thrall and seemed to want to get a couple of his recruits via Obsidian Foot, via some sort of we've told you the story, so yes. I mean, this is only one case. I hope that it is not the case elsewhere.
And then there's the flow-on effects.
I thought that either Zariel or your connection, Tiamat, might have been involved.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be a real dick here. Your knowledge of D&D universe is hurting you in this one instance, but we haven't yet had Zariel arrive in Avernus in Ostea's.
Oh, okay. Was that above board when I was asking? Because I remembered we asked who could be wanting souls for the Blood War.
Oh, did we? Okay, then I think in the moment. Okay, perfect. No, we'll stick with that then, because I think there was a time where I was wondering whether we might do our own version, like we did with Tyranny of Dragons, whether we might do a remapped version of Descent into Avernus. But no, tell you what, no, we'll keep Zariel in. That's easy. I've got it. There was two options I had for how to introduce that. I'll go with option number 2, which
we definitely like. Mephistopheles is one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tiamat is one.
Yeah.
The three. That's the three that I'm.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. As I said, I've got two options for how to do that if we do want to do a Descent into Avernus at some point in the future, which I do. I think Descent into Avernus is a great campaign.
Yeah,
so
that'd be fun.
Yeah. I was thinking that'd be a follow up to Curse of Strahd.
That would be cool. No, but Bart's knowledge was just falling back on that, which at the time was Zariel and Tiamat are the main sort of forefronts on the Blood War. But Mephistopheles was the symbolism that we sort of saw on Vice.
Yes.
I'll mention it. Yeah, Tiamat and Zariel are the ones that we thought maybe that would be wanting some of the Duragar soldiers. I don't know if you know much about that with your connection to her.
My connection to Tiamat, I will put all the cards on the table. I was born to be her avatar. There is a genetic line, a bloodline that traces back through the generations, and I was unfortunate, or I guess in this case fortunate enough to be the inheritor of that mantle as someone who could take up the mantle of the avatar of Tiamat. I rejected that destiny 100%, and I am not her avatar. We did everything we could to seal her back in Avernus, prevent her coming through, and we were successful. The powers I have are a shadow of Tiamat's, and I have no special knowledge, not since we stopped talking, and we did not talk much. I was terrified of her. Tiamat is absolutely petrifyingly scary, and I limited my conversations as much as I could. Yes,
makes sense.
I don't have any special knowledge of the Nine Hells, and even my amulet, the one that is resonates with Tiamat's power, when we sealed her back away, it lost a lot of its magic, so I don't have the same level of, and I never had much insight or knowledge into the Hells. But I want to circle back. You said, Niles, that he wanted the hammer back, the one that he had corrupted. He had done something to the Heartstone.
Yes, either himself or perhaps another Cambion or a greater power seemed to have infused some of its power within the hammer, and our friend Vice wanted it back. Well, we've taken precautions to hopefully mitigate that. It's with Professor Griswold now under his care, I suppose.
It's good to hear. Griswold is trustworthy. I don't know a huge amount about Griswold, but you can trust him. He lets slip stuff.
Where's he from?
We don't actually know. He has mentioned multiple places. I don't think he even remembers where he's from originally, to be honest.
Yes, he said he's walked all the plains.
Yes, he says a lot of things, but I mean, some
people knowing that.
No, he has said that before. I have heard him say that to me as well. I believe him, but I also don't know how that's true.
Things that might be listening.
Oh, we should be safe in here. There are wards to protect. We should be safe from scrying magic. We should be safe from Obviously, if there's someone in here spying on us, I can't do anything about that. If you're listening, spy, get the fuck out of our night hall. But in terms of magical spying, it shouldn't be possible inside the guild.
Oh, that's a relief.
So, if he was trying to get this hammer back, let's say 2 possibilities here. 1, he was the one who corrupted it, or 2, he wasn't, it was someone else. It sounds to me like some power is still in the hammer and he wants it, either because it's some of his power or another demons or devils that he is trying to take.
That's what we thought.
That is interesting. If he was just a Cambion, I find it hard to believe he could split some of his power so and infuse it into an object. I wonder if this is a false face this devil wears, which makes me wonder, why would you want to present as a Cambion? There must be some reason.
Unless he's a lackey, and maybe he took it without permission, seeking power from Obsidian Foot. I mean, maybe he's wanting it back because he's worried his boss is going to find out.
Yes, it could be. Or maybe he's making a play to take over from someone higher than him. This could be a power play. Either way, if we have the hammer, we have the bargaining chip. This is good.
Sorry.
We do have the hammer, right?
Or he's going to come here. Or we do have the hammer, or he's going to come here and try and take it.
Well, yes, I'm not looking forward to that conversation. He said that he wanted to talk to me because I was the last person with the hammer, so...
I might be able to... 1 second. Going off on a slight tangent from the conversation, but the idea popping into Bartholomew from like his comment before of like, it's kind of like a soul gem. Bart would like to, if there's someone else's soul in it, someone that this coin was given by Vice, they might have knowledge about him. So he wants to try to reach into it like you reach into the soul, the Heartstones, and see if he can talk to the soul inside the coin.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Very nice. Could I get you to please roll me? I'm going to say this falls under wisdom or charisma. A wisdom or charisma check, please. Your choice. I'm guessing you're going to pick charisma, given you're a paladin.
Yeah. It's a 13, but I am going to try risking getting higher before I know if it's a pass or fail. And use my heroic inspiration from last session. That was the one Chat gifted me, coming in clutch here, hopefully.
Yay. Nice. Thanks, Chat.
Thank you, Chat.
19 instead.
Yeah, that's much better.
Here is what happens. As you reach out, Bart, concentrating on the coin between your fingers, you hear in your mind, at first, this high-pitched, almost like a whine, this kind of like fingernails down the blackboard screeching sound. And as it slowly begins to tune in, you focusing your magic, the pitch begins to drop and lower, and you realize it is a voice screaming. A woman's voice. Screaming without breath, without end. And then suddenly, as your mind kind of reaches out, the scream stops for a moment. You instinctively know, Bart, with your soul coin, this works like a normal soul coin from Descent into Avernus. You have 3 charges on this coin. You can expend a charge to do one of the following. You can drain life away from the soul to grant yourself 1d10 temporary hit points, or you can ask a query of the soul trapped inside.
But see, the problem though is that consumes a charge of the soul coin, correct?
Yes.
And this one only has a single charge left.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. As he sort of like that, I guess that connection of feeling how faint the energy is left in this coin, having been used up, as far as he's guessing, by Obsidian Foot pretty leisurely, and wanting to possibly save this person. The hopes was maybe getting a bit of information, and then at the Flesh Sculptor, asking if there's a way to free the soul. He's just going to ignore that sort of topic for now. Don't worry. It's okay. And I'll sort of just slump back down in my chair after sort of cutting in the conversation for a second.
Just sip your tea.
To everyone else, probably just looks like a drunk stupor. Like
You're just about pulls out the coin, kind of squints at it for a moment, and then goes, "No, it didn't work." Tucks it away.
Actually, no.
Oh, there.
I'll sit back down.
Sure, you can try in the morning. But in any case, speaking of power plays, there is also the situation unfolding with the heiress theocracy.
Yes, that is very concerning what you have shared. I must admit, I had no suspicions of the Messenger Guild or the Theocracy. My experience with the Theocracy is limited. I think we flew over Eris on our journey to Chiari, but that's it. I've seen it from the air once. I had no idea there was such a tight link between the Guild and the Theocracy, and what's more, it makes so much sense that I wonder why I never saw this. This is concerning.
I mean, you must know that there are various political implications with this. You and your standing, it isn't just the heiress and the situation there, it's also everything else. Obviously, if the Messenger Guild are across what's happening around Nostea, the heiress theocracy are very well informed with all things, and you know what they say, knowledge is power. So, look, I think from what I've heard and the situation there, I don't want to see any of my kingsmen, or any of my race fall to each other, brothers and sisters. But I don't know how we can get ourselves out of this.
My concern at the moment is that, given their role as messengers, all the information that passes through their talons, I do not think the heiress theocracy would need to even raise a claw to cause widespread destruction. They could do so with whispers, message going to the wrong place, to the wrong person.
That's my point.
Changing the message.
Yes, I just came back from one of the most frustrating conversations I've ever had with the Oxenford Council. Now I wonder if maybe this situation we're in politically is somehow related to outside influence. The council was so focused on their holdings, on turning against the giants, it would be so easy to keep that message amongst... this is very concerning.
That's my point, yes.
This is serious.
The theocracy hold a great deal of power now, now that they have the ability to control things with unseen things. I fear as though the situation there is grim. Are there any? Do we have any allies? Perhaps I heard that you've done dealings with the Harpers before. We could send some scouts or someone to see what's happening on the ground there. As much as I would like to go back to my homeland and save things, I fear.
But that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, well, I feel like we're a bit in over our heads a little bit.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Harpers. I do know of one who is very adept at infiltration, who in fact successfully infiltrated the Cult of the Dragon for many months.
Oh.
Gloria. I haven't spoken with her for some time. She and Jin have a frictionful relationship, but I could reach out. I would send Jin, but he is currently working on another task, something very important for the Harpers. I wonder if perhaps Gloria could be persuaded to check in with the heiress theocracy.
Is this something worth bringing Sassurus back into, maybe? I mean, anyone, when it comes to infiltration or knowledge in general, I
would have to talk to Sassurus. I have no idea how to contact Gloria. I guess I could put a rumor out of something valuable and she'll probably turn up to try and steal it, but I will go through Sassurus.
We have to be careful how we handle it too. If we do it the wrong way, I'm still a fledgling myself, but how was communication before the Messenger Guild?
I don't know. We've had the Messenger Guild for so long that they came during a pivotal point in the war. As the gods battled one another and the world was falling apart, magic was unreliable. Suddenly, a rift created by the magic gone wild brought forth the Aarakocra and Owlin, and they said, if you grant us refuge, we will be your messengers. We will risk our lives traveling across these warfields, these battlefields, to share messengers. It turns the tide of battle. The history books say that it was the turn of the tide with accurate information. That is when the prime deities managed to make ground on the betrayer gods. It was the turn of the ruin.
Something like this changing, or not even the Messenger Guild being dismantled, if it came to that, but if trust was lost in them, people stopped using them, if they were destroyed as our confrontation with them, that could in turn have worse consequences down the line.
There is no way this can end with the destruction of the Messenger Guild. If you only learned about this recently, it means the vast majority of your people have no idea about this. They are being prepared in secret, unknown even to themselves. It is vital that we cut off the head of the snake. Maybe not so literally, but we need to stop this at the top. I think anything less, if we try and do this as a conflict, too many innocents will be caught up, and it will only further any kind of propaganda from the heiress. If we attack Aarakocra and the Owlin, it will unite them against us. We must make sure that we are fighting for them, not against them.
That could be Vice's intention. I mean, maybe if not Vice's, whoever he's working for, but I mean, if their intention is to take out the Messenger Guild, its communication is going to be gone. Eris can, strike with impunity. The Infernals can also strike with impunity, not to mention the Giants.
I had not considered that Vice could be involved in this as well.
Well, I mean,
yes.
He's been helping the Duragar, do the mining and get the metal, and then the Eris come in for the metal to get their armor. I mean, it could all be connected.
This also makes me concerned. Devils are known for playing games 3, 4, 8 steps ahead of their opponents. What if this isn't soldiers for a war in Avernus? What if this is soldiers for a war?
Soldiers for the above ground.
What if there is no conflict in Avernus right now? What if it has resolved and there is now a demon invasion ready? This is worst case scenario, obviously.
Discount it.
Yes, I agree. We cannot discount this.
I think, how much of an ask would it be to see if Griswold and the other artificers and anyone else with knowledge can maybe at least start with setting up a new communication network, something that's not reliant on the Messenger Guild? I mean,
we would have to be careful. It would have to be done in secret. If the heiress theocracy found out we were trying to replace them quietly, covertly, they would make it public knowledge as a sign that this world is trying to turn against the Owlin and the Aarakocra. It would be used as justification for the war, for the conflict. We need to be very careful.
What about the Heartstones? Because
if there was enough for everyone.
I tried to talk to Shana, but Court Paris, but if we can use this as like a distance communication, I mean, if there's enough for an entire cult to sort of start getting them, I mean, maybe...
The stone giants seem to have a great mastery of their stones. There is obviously a correct way to use them. We just are blind to its abilities thus far. That is more of a reason why we should seek out Simare.
Because she made them, didn't she?
Yes, what if an answer already exists? Why don't... We've got people that can make magic items out of the wazoo here in the Tempest Guild. Those rocks that the Drow were using.
The sending stones.
Yeah.
They are not secure as they should be. There are many who can interrupt and spy upon the signals sent by sending stones. Even to this day, there are sections of this world bathed in that wild magic, and messages that go through, things happen, they bounce and get garbled. It is one of the reasons why the Aarakocra Guild are still so strong today.
In any case, I fear that we're at a point of crossroads with what we should be doing next. We have multiple options in front of us. Obviously, seeking out Sinmare and understanding the Heartstone seems to be the most pressing matter, as it seems to be the key to most things moving forward. But then there's also the case of after that, where we might be best placed. Lyra, did you have
I was even thinking, I mean, depending on how long it would take, but I think it might just be sort of a quick little aside. I think maybe seeing the flesh sculptor for the sake of Bart's wings might be...
Oh, yes.
If it's only a short sort of...
It's not far. It's not far at all.
No. Of course. I had assumed that was already a given. But yes, I think after we go to the flesh sculptor and get Bart's lovely wings reattached, grown, I'm not quite sure how it works.
Fixed.
Fixed. That's a good word. And then we go to Sinmare, check in with her and see what the situation is there. And then I don't know. Perhaps the fire giants? Maybe they could be worth a look at. We could find out more about the alloy.
There's the stuff with the hill giants.
Oh, yeah. Gunlot and...
Is there a toilet nearby?
Yes, just behind you.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna go and take a piss.
For an owl, that's the same thing. Like, you've got only one hole.
Yeah.
So you have a cloaca. Yeah, sorry, it's just some science for you. So, like, when you take a piss, it's both urea and excrement in the same go. There's no differentiation for birds. It's all one.
Even a humanoid bird?
Even a humanoid
bird. And the urea is solid.
Yeah.
Close the door and just...
Jesus Christ. That is some harsh ASMR. I can only apologize.
Wow.
That's a thing. Lucky we've got that content warning. It's blue. Yeah.
Oh my.
There's still a sparkler in there as well. Still lit.
Oh. Yeah. Are you okay there, Bart?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just reach out. Just call out if you need a hand.
Okay.
Oh.
The water jug is still at the front of the door.
Yeah, you might need that.
It is endless, thank Christ.
Oh my.
The water jug.
Yes.
Yes, I think your plan is solid. Speak with Sinmare, head to the flesh sculptor, and then from there, or maybe flesh sculptor first. I know Lockie went to speak with Sinmare, but I have not heard from him since he left.
Oh.
That was only about 6 hours ago, though. That's within.
To be fair, it was only 6 hours ago. Well, perhaps tonight, good night's sleep, I will contact Susurrus, our contact in the Harpers, to see if we can get someone to do some reconnaissance on the Eris theocracy. I want no further actions taken against Eris just yet. Information only. We need to know the lay of the land before we make any sudden decisions here. This is a quagmire.
If I may, just while Bart is indisposed, I do fear that the Eris may be aware of his presence, at least in the city. We weren't so subtle with his movements, and as you can see, his current condition is quite unique.
Stands out, yes.
Indeed. I did catch a messenger of the Eris up in the windstreams before, so I suspect. There's every chance that the Eris is aware of Bart's position.
I assumed that they would be aware of Bart's situation once your cousin had returned. Unless, although she is working again, the Silver Winds, Niles, do we need to send someone to investigate them as well?
I suppose, yes, I think that would be wise. From what I've heard and from what I've seen, it appears that Nyx is rallying the Silver Winds for some sort of coup against the royal family, which is not ideal.
This is your family.
Bathtub in here to clean myself.
There is.
There is.
Bathtub? Oh my god, love it. Okay, instead, redact that. You're going to hear like a running water. I'm going to start the.
This is your family, Niles. I know it can be hard to work against family.
No.
Okay, great. Well, that's easy.
I saw Nyx's handiwork. No, she's bad news.
She sounds like a psychopath.
Yes.
I don't have to be coy about this then.
No. Speak your mind.
My question is, what do we need to know about the Silverwinds that we don't already know?
Aside from obviously mercantile background, strong links to most of the major cities in Nostea through their trade, the Silverwinds have always been a forerunner to the royals' family. Titus is the current head of the. Titus is the current head of the family. Quite mysterious. Not really. I've only met him on maybe 2 or 3 occasions.
And he's your uncle, you said?
Well, head of the family, yes.
So it's not sort of direct blood relations. It's
the family is more of a term for anyone in the upper echelons, regardless of their blood lineage.
Right.
Lineage,
Sorry,
yes.
I did not understand that. Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
It's almost like the family. It's and now that I
the
think
family,
about it,
like a mob boss.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're one of the family now, she.
I mean, I'm not aware. I'm not aware if there's any blood relation, but no, he is certainly the head of the family. Most of the communication is done through the matriarch.
Okay.
Whose name evades me at this
You
time.
said Titus and the Silverwinds have direct financial connections to many nobles and wealthy people within different cities. I am afraid to ask this. Any on the Council of Oxenfurt?
Oh, well, possibly. I couldn't tell you who. The Silverwinds have rubbed shoulders with many high nobility. It goes without saying. I mean, mostly within the Heiress themselves, but on occasion, to strike up trade routes and deals. The family have often reached out to nobles across Nostea to set up such trade routes and
gain influence. Yes, I can
naturally
see this is going to be a problem. The rot, as it were, runs deep. Okay.
I mean, if the messenger guild can be set up in such a way, so can trade routes, so can other avenues of influence. Yes, it's all connected now that I think about it.
This is going to be a bigger task. I think we need to gather information. For the moment, it is unclear whether Nyx would share Bart's survival with the Heiress theocracy. I suspect she would not, given that she is currently attempting to uproot the Heiress, unless giving the Heiress something to focus on takes attention off her. What if throwing Bart in their view is a good distraction?
I mean,
this is politics.
It's a big task for them.
It's all the more reason for Bart to have his wings returned. To see him fine and well, despite his
he still
plight.
stands out a little. He's quite.
I had an idea.
Okay, good.
Once we get the wings,
yes.
Do we have something capable of dyeing feathers? I mean, I'm sure he's going to hate it, but I mean, if we dye him pitch black, I mean, you know, they're expecting a white wingless Owlin. I mean, they're not going to, you know, sort of maybe a stupid, like different color, like pink, blue.
Hey, Bart.
Hit this out a gentle
as you look
splashing.
over, water's slowly coming out of under the door.
Right. Bart, you okay? Bartholomew? Oh my!
Oh, I'm like full eagle spread, but wearing my full plate armor in the bath. I wanted to. I needed to clean myself. You know how it is after going to a bird bath. I decided to take a full actual bath instead. But you have to take my armor off.
Are you keeping your beak above water?
Yes. Can you not see?
Well, I mean, I don't want
Maybe.
I don't want you to slouch down and have the. No, never mind. We should probably take that off though if you want to enjoy that bar.
Yeah, I just can't. Can you please? The buckle just there.
Could Lyra shout through the door? Please turn off the water. It's
Yes,
still
maybe-
running.
Turn off the water and I hand you the bucket. Also, how would you like to be dyed a different color?
You're already in the bath.
in your mind,
love
Bart.
blue.
I was going to say, in your mind, Bart, as you're in this drunken state, you're like, man, if I was blue.
You know what? I'd never thought about that. Like, if I just painted myself the color she likes, surely that women are simple, right?
We're starting to like head into incel level efforts here.
He's turning himself into part of her collection.
Satine already loves you. I'm sure.
Clearly, Bart's a
any
bit of a
color
sub. Possess me, Bauer. Possess me. A bit of a sub, clearly. Just want to be part of your collection.
Wow.
Add me to your bower.
I'd like to hope that she loves me for how I am. You're confusing me. Do you want me blue or not?
It doesn't have to be blue per se. It could be any color you like, just not white.
Do you not like me? Fearing a little bit how I am.
Of course, I adore you how you are, but we're just saying outside how you're quite unique, and we have lots of eyes, lots of spies.
You're my only friend, kind of. I'm getting close with the others.
Your four other friends out there. You watch as Threign looks around and goes, that was very rude. Fuck you, Al. Fuck you.
Lyra silently flips the bird.
It's just
Very appropriate, Lyra. I flip a bird as well.
it's just a precaution to protect you, to make you a little bit more inconspicuous.
Doesn't this full set of plate armor do that? If I put the visor down?
Well,
But you never have the visor down. Or she
No,
shouts
'cause I
back
need-
through the door.
I need to show off this. I am attractive.
I mean, we could just dye your face blue if you always have the armor on.
Yeah.
you have to be committing to wearing the armor at all times in public. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll do that.
Means I'm constantly ready for action. I'm going to splash water around.
Oh. I think you are getting some water on the night ball.
You watch as Mira reaches out a hand, moves it up, and you watch as the water follows the path of her hand as she casts shape water, condenses it, freezes it, and then just throws it out the window into ice.
It's really not a problem. It's fine.
I'll just leave you be, Bart.
See, we're fine. Rich people shit. And I'm going to start splashing again.
So I have another solution. If it is too much splashing, I can just.
And you watch as the water on the floor begins to freeze up around the bath as an icicle grows and stops right as it gets to the lip of the bath. And as you turn and look out the door, you can see the silver side of Mira smiling at you, this kind of little bit of frost as her breath coalesces for a moment.
If there is too much water, I can always chill it down for you, Bart. Keep it stable and inside. Ice tends not to move around too much or spill.
It's better than the alternative. She could always boil it off.
Here, ice baths are quite trendy amongst Owlin.
I'm okay.
Are they? Oh, good. No. She won't.
I'm gonna, I'll roll out of the bath. I was just thinking of getting out anyway and slam onto the ice with my plate armor.
Okay. Anyway, I think we've been a bit waylaid.
So,
On a completely different topic.
yes.
Yes. Good. Yes. Different topic.
Do we have any dragon parts sitting in a bag of holding anywhere? Because I was just thinking, the dragon parts work really well as materials / bartering for the flesh sculptor the first time. I mean, maybe if we have any different dragon parts, maybe we could use them as bartering for the wings.
Dragon parts, sure.
You're asking if the corpse of my people could be used as some sort of currency, no, I do not tend to keep the body parts of my kin just sort of sitting around, Lyra. The last time, which was an opportune moment that, I mean, he already had kind of claimed the dragon anyway. We used it as a bargaining chip, but my feelings on using the body parts of my kin as currency are not ideal. If you are looking for things to trade...
Other body parts?
It does seem to like body parts. It did ask for a lot of samples.
It was the only thing it seemed to be interested in, that's all I'm asking.
Well, I mean, the flesh sculptor, I wouldn't say I trust it per se, but if we did need to get rid of some item that a devil might be coming for.
Oh, no, we've got a rare monster that we can kill and give the body to right here. The Bagman.
The Bagman's have bodies?
I don't know.
That might be a bit hard. I think Professor Griswold said that was quantum, I believe the word was.
He just uses that word when he can't be bothered explaining things. I have heard him use the word quantum to describe rain at one point. I would not take it too seriously. Yes.
I thought it was...
Yes, Emmerich asked him how rain works, and he just responded, quantum, slapped him on the back of the head, and then left.
Oh.
But if you were looking for some item or something of value that he would be interested in, the flesh sculptor, we do still have some eggshells from the 3 dragons we hatched. I have kept them in a box.
Oh.
You have baby dragons here?
We had baby dragons here. They are not here anymore. 2 of them were returned to Chiari to be brought up among their people. Emmerich is currently somewhere with the other one, or he has been eaten by it. I am not sure which.
Oh.
Either way, it's probably still all right.
I'm sure it will be fine, but we do still have the eggshells. That could be something he is interested in. Otherwise, did you find any interesting things in the Underdark? You said you slaughtered a Bahia.
I was going to say, yeah, if we have any of the Bahia flesh left still. Do we?
The Catman's working on that.
He took some skin, took some of the scales to make a hide. I
Yeah.
don't remember if he collected any teeth or claws or anything like that.
I don't know if we did.
I'm happy to. You did spend.
Head?
We took
the Bahia head?
Nah,
Like the whole head?
The whole head.
I don't think you did because you didn't have any way to transport it. It's pretty big.
We wanted to.
We
I
wanted
took
to.
the Jared mentioned
Do you
he
know what you-
wanted to as a trophy. but
Do
it
you know what
was
you did
huge.
take? You did take that lattice structure, the slightly
Yes,
odd,
we have-
the weird looking stone. Not quite a heartstone, something else. You took that
We
out
can
of the
take
head.
that.
We still
Yeah,
have
we
that. That's
definitely-
in a
we
bag
definitely
of
still have
holding
that.
somewhere.
That could be a bartering. I mean, the flesh sculptor did seem like he had some kind of wildly different level of technology to what we have here. I mean, could be something they're interested in.
Maybe. One shot.
Yes, and I do not think he would have much hands-on experience with giant technology. This could be good bargaining chip. He did seem somewhat interested when we spoke with him last.
I mean, I suppose if it's a trade of, well, I wonder if it's so much a trade. I suppose having Bart's
A
original
barter.
things would be the material cost. We can barter with the stone.
Yes.
We can
Bartering for Bart.
Yeah, there should be
Barter.
bartering for Bart.
Yes.
I like that. That's good.
You might be able to just get away with giving it some samples. It did seem to request a lot of samples last time we were there.
Just a thought on that, actually. Well, before I forget, before we visit the flesh sculptor, it could be wise to make sure that we are all wearing gloves, because I could see him also maybe requesting the hand with the heartstone in it as compensation if
You
he knew
could
about
just
them.
say no. We said no last time to samples. Yervith quite emphatically said no many times. Screeched no the first time. And he did listen. It seems to, consent seems important to it. Otherwise it would be evil and we would not have dealt with it if it just took things or just, yes.
But
I think you
think
don't need to hide it per se. You can just say no. But maybe hiding makes it easier?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I think we got lucky having the convenient death nearby.
yeah. Well, I think between the forehead stone of the Behir, and perhaps we'll still take those eggshells, if that's okay, Mira.
Yes, I will
think that
fetch
should
them. Yes.
I think that would be reasonable.
Who would be the most likely to know about this? Niles and Ember. Could you both roll for me a nature check? Niles, because it's to do with your history with a mercantile family. Ember, because of your training and your background. 15's good. 15's good.
Nature is not super great.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not so much. It's more like, would you know about this from like the mercantile side of things, less than the actual natural relationship. Ember, we'll do yours first with a 15, and then we'll see if Matt gets anything extra. Dragon eggshells. You have heard of these before. 5 from Niles. Yeah, 5. Dragon eggshells. Great. Sounds good.
Great.
Ember. Yeah, I mean, obviously, dragons hatch from eggs, but the shells themselves, you've heard, possibly even seen, that they have, in some cases, magical properties. One of the magical properties that you would know of, very, very rare, very hard to trade for, but when ground into a dust and mixed with glass, the resulting creation, the resulting glass, is almost nigh unbreakable. It becomes this exceptionally durable, shatterproof glass that is used a lot in the airships. That is kind of like used to help create these very like scratch-resistant, storm-resistant glass. It's very expensive, very rare. It's something only the wildfire druids of your enclave would know how to make. This is one of those secrets that was kind of passed down through the giants. So all of this hardened glass or reinforced glass that comes out of your enclave, you would know that dragon eggshells are used in the creation of it. Ground up dragon eggshells. They provide this incredible durability and strength. They are valuable for a number of other reasons as well. You know of some spells that can use them as components, some powerful ritual spells, including a ritual spell. 15, would you know about this spell? You probably would. You'd know about a spell that can be used to create a copy of yourself, like a living puppet known as a simulacrum. Ground up dragon eggshells can be used in that ritual as well. Very valuable to the right buyer. And if you know that if you didn't necessarily trade all of them away to this flesh sculpture, if you kept some yourself, if you even had the eggshell of one dragon egg, you could make quite a bit of that hardened glass, that very specialized scratch, like basically the Nostea version of Gorilla Glass that we use in our phones, like really like strong, like much stronger, much more scratch resistant. But this really high tensile, high compactive strength glass. If you were considering getting together some building materials to put together your bastion, I mean, the glass could be kind of handy, and it's also valuable too. So you would know these eggs are very valuable, and you'd know that they have applications both in construction through the glass blowing and through magic as well.
Well, probably should share that. Like, depending on what we want to do with these eggshells, I can try and make something from them that might be quite valuable. So I think we should hold on to some if possible, but see what the flesh sculptor really.
Well, okay, good.
If we need more things, does Flicker lay eggs?
Actually, that's a very interesting question, because he was a spirit, but now he's technically a familiar. But I've never seen him lay eggs personally. I've never really paid attention to it.
So it's Pokemon logic. It's Pokemon logic. So Flicker, when Flicker's in a daycare, an egg mysteriously appears. Like it's good. Yeah.
Sometimes I leave him be with a little gelatinous thing, and eggs suddenly appear. I mean, I've never really looked into it.
Yes, it's known as the Masuda method. When I leave him with this strange strange gelatinous creature from another land, and it becomes out a shiny flicker egg.
Gelatinous cube.
I was gonna say, hopefully not a gelatinous cube. I would worry for Flicker.
And then Flicker fucks the cube, and an egg pops out a few moments later. Yeah.
Oh my!
That's not how Pokemon work, kids. Don't cover your ears, children.
Yeah,
He's
your
lying. The bad DM is telling stories again. No. It's not how Pokemon work.
I mean, we could start our own little business. I mean, I was thinking about making some spyglasses or something like that to generate some more income while I was here. But, I mean, with the eggshells, potentially I could make even more. And I don't have any gelatinous friends for Flicker at the moment, but maybe down the line.
Okay, well, in any case, the dragon eggshells, and maybe we start off with the head thing from the bit here, give it to the flesh sculpt to see what he thinks, and then that's enough to get the wings attached, and at least that way we still have the eggshells, and Ember, you can do what you need to do with it.
Oh, I like that idea.
That sounds good. In terms of disguising Bart, you could always speak to Griswold about some amulet. We did use at one point an amulet to disguise my scales to keep me hidden, to make it so that my unique white and red, silver and red is not so obvious. Maybe something similar.
That could be good.
I think mine is still around here somewhere. I will see if I can find it. That would be helpful if I can find that. That's one less thing you have to worry about to keep Bart secret. Well, I think that is a lot to go on. For now, then, I understand your goal is to speak with the flesh sculptor, speak to Sinmare, and then decide on a direction next, whether it is the frost, the fire giants, to try and sort out what is going on with the hill giants once again, perhaps even investigate the cloud giants. I share Loki's concern and Azua's concern. They have been too quiet. My understanding was the cloud giants were vying for control of the whole thing from the storm giants. It is highly unusual that they would just be sitting back and letting this all happen and not trying to take advantage of this. Yes.
From what you know, the cloud giants wouldn't be teaming up with the Eris theocracy, could they? I mean, both, above ground level cities.
I doubt
looking for power.
The cloud giants released a statement, a massive illusionary head in the sky of their leader, demanding the vacation of all creatures currently existing in their castles to vacate within 2 weeks. That would have applied to Eris as well.
How long ago was that?
This was only a few days ago.
Oh.
Yes, the cloud giants are not happy with what has happened, and as far as I am aware, they do not know what has happened to Nocturnus yet. I suspect they will not be happy when they find out one of their castles is now a cursed, floating death trap.
It could solve some of our problems if they went and checked.
Well, they would need to spend the night there, which I suspect, given their knowledge of magic, they would not be doing. I suspect they would figure out quite quickly that Nocturnus is not a good place to be after dark.
I had not considered the cloud giants as a possibility. Could be a good option, considering, well, they're mostly unknown to us at this point. We do know the fire giants are active. They're doing things up in their areas, but everything else seems to be not categorized, but at least known about.
The frost giants are somewhat unknown too. We're not sure what they're up to. All we know is that a massive storm has engulfed most of the northern passage between Northgard and the North Pole. A massive storm that ships are unable to pass through, which we think is giant origin. And the fire giants, 2 of the volcanoes around the Obsidian Isles started erupting fairly recently. Doesn't take a genius to figure out volcano eruption, fire giants.
I think we need to speak to Sinmari before we decide.
That could be good.
Probably have a good direction.
Yes, I think that is wise. For tonight, then, why don't you have a rest, sleep in a nice warm bed for once, a nice soft bed, somewhat
Feels like I haven't slept in a bed in about 7 or 8 months.
Then it's...
Yeah, we still haven't slept since that big fight, have we?
I'm thinking that will be quite a welcome respite then. And then in the morning, if you wanted transport to the flesh sculptor, it should only be half a day's travel if we take a sky skipper. I will book it tonight. Would you be ready by 10 a.m. outside the front of the guild? Give you time for a sleep in, to rest, get your energy back?
That's good.
So.
Perfect.
And if Lockie comes in the meantime...
I will wake you. If Lockie comes and you need to speak with Sinmare, I am sorry to say I will come and wake you. That is time sensitive.
I'm sure we'll all be wide and awake by 10 a.m.
Good. Have a good sleep, rest, and I will see you hopefully in the morning. I have to head back to the council again for most of tomorrow, but hopefully I will catch you before I leave. Otherwise, Azure is always here. I cannot send him to the council. The last time I sent him... yes, it was interesting.
Better or worse than the time that we all went?
Oh no, I mean, on one hand it was good. He just did a very inspiring speech for 20 minutes about the importance of community and comradeship. It's a shame that they were there, though, to speak about an incursion of kobolds towards the western side of the city. I think they found his speech less inspiring, more annoying, yes, unfortunately. But that is Azure. We love him. Okay, head to bed. I will organize a sky skipper for the morning and make sure that you are on it. 10 a.m. at the front of the guild.
Thank you, Mira.
No problems.
We'll keep you posted.
Yes, thank you. And might I say to the new members, welcome to the guild. For those who have been here before, welcome home. Now off to bed. Go. I don't want to be your mother, but off to bed, all of you. Go.
Like, as we turned off.
Upstairs. I'm sorry. Yes, I will come show you your rooms. We have some guest rooms.
Thank you.
Come, I will show you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I make sure to pick up the endless water, but I'm going to be forcing a lot of it down Bart's throat. Not enough to give him water toxicity, but enough to try and alleviate somewhat of a hangover.
Not enough to waterboard him. You watch as he slowly inflates like a balloon. Like the frog from Shrek as you just attach the beak around the decanter, turn it onto geyser setting.
Lyra, what's with you and always putting water on me? Having flashbacks to when we were in the cave and you pulled that prank. Please, just I'm not thirsty anymore.
This time it's for your own good.
What will happen? Don't worry.
Perfect. As you will benefit from a long rest, you may mark off hit points, you may return yourselves, go through the long rest category, make sure that you have fully recovered, you may benefit from a long rest.
I am going to give the party, it's gone up by 1 point, yay guys, 12 temporary hit points to everyone.
Make sure you mark off your 12 temporary hit points.
As we're all going to bed, what I'm going to do... what I'm going to do...
Oh god, drunkenly sing outside their doors and croon to them while they sleep.
Worse than that.
Oh good.
I've still got the linking tattoo active. There's no time limit on it. I'm going to switch between everyone as a bonus action, which you can do according to it, and subtly sing to all of them to sleep. In their minds.
Oh no.
You hear, as you do this to Threign, there's a moment's silence, and then you hear heavy footsteps outside your door before your bedroom door opens. You see Threign completely nude standing there. Threign would sleep nude. I think we know that, right?
He definitely would.
Yeah, definitely sleeps nude. As he just stands there, you watch as he just him and his axe, as he slowly puts the axe down on the floor, leans on it and goes, "You try and sing in my head one more time, bird. You will find that it is not just wings that can be cut off. I will find..." And he looks down at your empty crotch for a moment as he sees you. Have a claw, goes to bed, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." Closes the door and leaves. "My condolences." Shuts the door and walks out. "He has no testicles to threaten to remove. I feel sorrow."
Now, I have been doing one or the other, but I will just check for yourself. Inspiring leader and musician, both done on a short or long rest. Am I able to combo those, or do I have to pick one or the other?
They're both temporary hit points, aren't they?
Inspiring leader is the temporary hit points. Musician is the inspiration to 3 creatures.
I don't see why you couldn't combo them. Rules as written. There's
Perfect.
they're not. It's like because obviously you can't stack temporary hit points. That's the main.
Nothing says that I can't combo them, but I just wanted to check first. It was meant to be that sort of pact where during a rest, I'm playing a bit of music while giving a bit of a speech, trying to uplift everyone, like you'd have it like a. I don't know, but when Captain America's just about to like Avengers, and there's like the music playing in the background.
Yeah. You're the music in the background.
Yeah.
As like just off screen, Bart's there going like. Yeah.
So I'm both. I'm speaking as I'm doing my own background music to myself.
I still have one, so all good if you want to give it to yourself.
I was gonna see, Matt and Simon, do you guys have inspo?
I do, actually.
You do? Okay, I'll give one to Simon. I'll take one myself, and then I'll give one to
Harry. Maybe?
Harry.
I mark it off for Harry. That's the safest one for use immediately. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
Ember. As you drift off to sleep, a moment of gentle crooning in your ear as Bart drunkenly sings to you for a moment before moving on to the next person. You hear the sound of Threign muffled, like threatening Bart for a moment, then apologizing and going to bed. Then silence falls over the night hall. The bed that you're lying in is really comfortable. It is weirdly actually big enough for you, something you're not kind of used to when you travel outside of Firbolg communities. These beds look like they've kind of been designed for a couple of different people. It is much longer than an average bed, and as you lie down in it, stretched out finally, where would Flicker sleep? Would Flicker sleep kind of curled up around your shoulder, down on your feet? Where do you reckon Flicker sleeps at night? On your chest, sort of keeping you warm?
I was going to say, I think it'd mostly be chest, stomach, curled up side on. Like used to, maybe before we met these guys, we'd just be traveling and he'd be sleeping next to me for the warmth. So it would be cold in the environment. So,
yeah. It is, it's warm, definitely, with Flicker on your chest. And as the rise and fall of your chest slows and you find yourself drifting off to sleep, you feel that warmth from Flicker begin to grow and emanate through you, filling you up until you kind of float in this warm, blissful, half asleep, half awake kind of twilight consciousness. And as you do, you begin to find yourself dreaming, conscious, awake, as you begin to see this landscape begin to stretch and twist around you. At first, the dream starts with you at home, the glade that you grew up in, the forge, the glass is blown, the Firbolg's working, creating that stream of fire to melt the silicon and melt the sand into beautiful, intricate shapes of glass. In your dream, you are a child again, standing next to your teacher as she goes through the motions, the gentle technique of moving the rod to keep the glass moving, always keeping that twist and turn to maintain that even pressure and shape of gravity. Building your lungs, the exercises to inflate your lungs, use your diaphragm to create that powerful push of air, this consistent pressure needed to blow and inflate the glass, to turn a liquid into a solid and a solid into a liquid when required. And then the dream shifts for a moment. You see the fragments of glass dripping down into the forge in front of you. These droplets of molten liquid glass running together and forming this strange shape inside the coals, inside the embers at the very heart of this forge. A cylindrical object that flows and forms and twists until a rough, almost egg-shaped sphere, glowing red hot, sits in the very center of these dying embers. As the heat is pulled into the glass, you watch as the forge grows still and cold. Just this burning, red hot liquid glass egg sitting in the heart of the fire. Until it too grows cold and dark once more. Its surface is iridescent, beautiful. This kaleidoscope of colors reflecting light off the front of it. And as you reach in, pick it up, it's not too hot to burn, but much warmer. much more hot than it should be from its appearance. You know the glass is clear now. There shouldn't be any heat to it, but you can feel the warmth emanating from it. And as you look into its very center, you see this firelight flicker to life in the very center of the glass. What do you do in your dream?
So I'm holding the light. Yeah, there's no other light source in the room or at this point, or am I just purely engulfed by
the forge is dark, the glade is still lit by sunlight above, but the landscape around you seems to have muted. You know, in like kind of like in a dream when your focus is on something, the landscape kind of begins to fade away around you. That's what's happening now. It's almost like your attention is drawn into this glass drop, this water droplet of glass in your hand, this egg-shaped droplet of glass.
I mean, it's a dream. I want to see if I can try and control the fire like I would with my produced flame with inside the egg. Does it react? Can I increase the flame? Can I do anything else to it?
Yeah. As you call upon your training, your magical training, your magical lessons that you've gone through to stoke the embers within your heart, the fire within your heart, pull upon the warmth around you and summon flame into your hands. You watch as that flame within your palms begins to dance across the surface of this glass egg. And inside, matching the pace, matching the rhythm of your fire, you watch as that little flame captured in the heart of this glass does the exact same thing. Dancing along, colors changing and shifting as it matches the exact same pattern of your flame. And then with a crack, you watch as the glass breaks in half, the center of it slicing down the middle. And as the glass bursts open, you see a small feathered form in your hand. Flicker. Of course, it's Flicker. You remember Flicker. But this is Flicker as a young chick, tiny little hatchling in your hands. The large, impressive wings and long tail that he has now are small. He looks frail and tiny in the palm of your hand, but as the fire burns in your fingers, you watch as Flicker begins to feed upon it, growing and taking on his normal form and size, before he climbs up your arm, perching on your shoulder in his favorite spot. And as his head nuzzles into you, you watch as fire begins to burn around you, engulfing your home, the glade catching alight as everything takes to fire, burns in the flames of this light. Then the ground begins to rumble beneath your feet. And as you turn, you see mountains rising around you. Not mountains, volcanoes. As the dark stone begins to eclipse, shadowing you, casting you into this valley, these enormous spires of stone all around you, you watch as one by one, the tops begin to sink, disappearing underneath before erupting, a pillar of magma launching into the sky from each one in turn. As you turn, looking at each one, as the flames begin to grow hotter and hotter, Flicker begins to grow larger and larger. You watch as his form begins to shift, colourful feathers taking place of the reds and orange, that iridescent glass surface coming back, the colours dancing across his lower feathers as he grows in size, until he is not sitting on your shoulder. You are sitting on his back, riding on this enormous bird-like creature. As Flicker opens his mouth, a stream of flame igniting the sky as if answering the call of the volcanoes around you. And just like that, you awaken, sweating, very warm, as Flicker on your chest, eyes wide open looking at you. You see those same flames dancing in his eyes that you saw in the vision, in the dream. Before Flicker yawns and then nuzzles back in again, the warmth dying down once more.
So, feeling this, I mean, I've clearly got a sense of, I don't know, this is obviously not going to feel like it's a memory. Like, it might have felt like that at the start, but then to have the progression with the volcanoes and everything like that. Is there a way that I can try, I'm up now, I'm panicking. Is there a way that I can try and hear from the people in my town. It's kind of like, when you're a little kid and you revert to you had a bad dream about someone, you want to talk to them straight away. First reaction I want to do is try to talk to someone from my town just to see if there's any messages, anything like that, any news.
Yeah, so maybe head down to the guild, have a look around, see if anyone's there, if there's any messages for you at the guild, and then head to the Aarakocra Tower even.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. It's dawn as you get up. No one else is awake yet. As you make your way downstairs, you can hear heavy snoring coming from Threign's room, the occasional hoot coming from Niles's room, the sound of claws occasionally scratching against the woodworkers. Bart has like little sleep zoomies in his. I imagine, given his drunken state, there's a few muscle twitches as Bart's claws sort of scrape against the woodwork. From underneath Lyra's door, you can see this like gentle flow of spores in the morning light catching the light as they sort of rise underneath the doorframe and then burn away into nothing underneath the doorframe. And from underneath Harry's door, you can hear the occasional sound of like a thumping foot as Harry also seems to be doing zoomies in his sleep. As you make your way downstairs and look around, the only person who's up at the moment is Howls under the earth, currently working away at the forge. You can see she's clearly gotten up early in the forge, glowing red hot. For a moment, you kind of have that flashback to the dream. And this is the most lucid you've ever been in a dream before. You know this isn't just a dream. Instinctively, you know that. And glowing red hot in the furnace, you can see what looks like the braces that she was working on, the braces of defense that she was working on for Lyra. You can see them in the forge. She's clearly been working away at them overnight, getting them ready for today. Do you check in with Howls or head straight to the Aarakocra? What's your plan?
Just to double check as well, I think, because I obviously missed last week, I did want to see if I could talk to the blacksmith about a moon sickle, which is why I was saving some money. I'm not sure if that was actually...
We didn't talk about that. I'm happy to retcon that was one of the things you floated. You guys kind of did a bit of a group thing where you put in a whole bunch of supplies. I'll do the math really quickly, but as long as you've got, like... I'll have a look, but I don't think it's going to cost you too much more on top of what
you can figure that out.
Yeah, moon sickle. But she, in that case, then I'll change it. In the forge, glowing, you can see the metal outline of this sort of curved blade that she's working on. As she is clearly she's already done the initial cast. Now she's just shaping and getting the final details on. It's beautiful, Ember. She's clearly taken a bit of inspiration from your druidic circle. You can see that the blade of the sickle has these kind of flame-like patterns built into it. She's kind of incorporated the movement of like a dancing flame into the pattern of the metal. It's really good work. And around the handle, which hasn't yet been affixed properly, you can see she has strips of this very dyed, almost dark crimson leather, studded with these little black points that almost look like points of ash or coal. She's really like seeing what you're up for. She's really tried to factor that in. And you can also see she's managed to track down a little red feather that hangs down from the pommel a little bit. That kind of looks like it could be one of Flicker's feathers. It's not, because Flicker's, like, I mean, unless she's come and plucked a feather off Flicker when you weren't looking, but she's clearly like, you can tell she's really tried to match this to your aesthetic while she's been working on these. Yeah, and as she sees you approach, you watch as she nods.
Yes, hello, good morning. You are up very early, Ember.
I know I'm up very early. Unfortunately, I think I've had a dream, a premonition. I've had something this morning. I would love to talk to you about your work, but I need to get in contact with my hometown. I feel like something isn't quite right, potentially. Do you know how to get in touch with the Firbolgs from here?
It is not something I would be the best person to speak to. I would try the Aarakocra Messenger Guild. There has not been any run of news this morning yet. It is far too early, but they will have received reports overnight. They have investigators they send out to gather information to then provide to the newspapers for the morning. If you head there quickly, I'm sure you could speak to someone there.
That's what I need to do now. I'm sorry to keep this brief, but I need to...
No, it is okay. I need to focus on this anyway. I'm almost done with your moonsicle. Please, go and speak with them. I will catch up with you later when I have finished.
Fantastic. And with that, not even like going to stick around, heading straight to the Aarakocra messages to see if there's anyone out the street, or just pretty much heading straight there.
It's only a 30-minute walk from where you are to the Aarakocra Messenger Guild. It's very close by. As you arrive, you can see indeed a number of, despite the early morning, you can see a number of very tired-looking Owlin coming in and landing on a lot of the upper platforms, handing over satchels, pulling open little side bags and little packs, passing over information before taking off tunics and taking off scarves that mark them as members of the guild, and then fluttering down towards the lower levels, collecting a little bag of money, and then clearly making their way to go and sleep for the night. As they walk past you, you see one very tired Screech Owl who almost bumps into you, looks and goes, "Oh, so sorry. Oh man, that was a long one. Sorry." As he walks past you, almost bumping into you. Clearly, he is so fucking tuckered. Yeah.
I mean, seeing him bump into me, like, no, you're fine. I mean, I don't know who to talk to here, but I just really need to find out, has there been any talk or any news of volcanoes, large fires, anything like that, particularly around the Ash Grove in I can't remember where exactly. I think it's south-ish of us.
I believe we had you on the border of Oshia and the Elemental States, down sort of a little bit further south. Yes. That's kind of the landscapes are much more kind of south of Italy. And then as you go a little bit south again, it ends up kind of being a much more Greek islands climate and landscape. So yeah, I think we had you on the border of... So on the map that you've got there, we'd probably be looking near Eblin or Strit, a little bit north of the Elemental States. So yeah, south for sure. Just inland from the western part of the Shattered Isles, which is very much based on Greek islands in our world. Yeah, as he watches the Owlin kind of nods, goes, "Oh yeah, you want to go talk to Icht? They're just inside. She's got all the information. I mean, I can. Have you got family there?"
I have almost all my family there.
I just came from the Elemental States. I was in Dromethion. How did you know? I just delivered that report. How did you know that something had happened?
I can't say why. I just felt uneasy about something and had to come and investigate.
One of the islands over towards the west. Yeah. The top blew off during the night. I've heard reports of people being evacuated. The wind's currently blowing from the west, so a lot of ash and smoke currently going over the top of the Elemental States.
Okay. Any reports of what had maybe caused it? Is it?
I'm just paid to take notes of what I see from the air. I can't give you much more than that. Sorry. Talk to Icht. She might know more. I'm so sorry if you've got people there. I hope they're okay.
No, thank you. With that, not even shake his hand. I tap him on the shoulder and I head in to see.
As you put the hand on the shoulder, the Screech Owl does the exact same thing. Places a hand on your shoulder, sort of gives you a very tired but very sympathetic look, nods, and then turns around and wanders off. Looking back a little bit as he looks, you don't get the sense this is someone who's trying to look at you. Actually, tell you what, maybe an insight check. Let's see what you're pretty good at insight. Ember's pretty insightful. Let's do an insight check.
So
20 unnatural. This is a very tired, very haggard Screech Owl. He's really sorry that he's just had to deliver you bad news. You can tell though, he kind of paused, went to hand you off to this person called Icht, and then looked really guilty for a moment and instead spoke to you directly. Judging, just as you kind of reflect back on this for a moment, you get the sense that he wanted to be the one to tell you this, but you're not 100% sure why. Something to do with Icht, perhaps. You're not 100% sure why. And then him looking back as he kind of walks away, genuine sympathy. He's really he's feeling guilty he didn't stick around and tell you more. He's kind of torn between wanting to get to bed, wanting to just be done with what clearly is a pretty tough day, and wanting to kind of help you out. And you can see, looking over, there is soot on his feathers. His clothing is partially stained with ash. Clearly, he's flown through or above this ash cloud to get this news to Oxenford in time. Yeah, he's looking like he's had a really rough flight. As you head inside, I'm guessing?
Yes.
As you head inside, it is a buzz of activity, not just with Owlin and Aarakocra, a number of half-elves, humans, halflings rushing around, grabbing information. It is kind of chaos on the bottom floor of the Aarakocra Messenger Guild at the moment. You can see people calling out, shouting things. Some of them seem to be wearing what look like these badges. It looks like not too dissimilar from like the Explorer and Adventurer badges that the Tempest Guild wear, but these, like, you recognize these denote members of different newspapers and different members of the press who are currently getting all the information from the Aarakocra who've just flown in. You can see over towards the side a swan Aarakocra. Beautiful white feathers, very graceful, very, very poised. In this sea of chaos, she is this one bastion of calm, of like the calm in the eye of the storm. As all of this chaos happens around her, you watch as occasionally she'll reach down, write something down, pass it to a person. She'll hold up her fingers and click. Someone will rush over. She'll whisper into their ear and then look around, whisper something else. That person will run off, grab another person. Like, this is the person. This is the... I'm going to say with your inside of 20, you are looking at the ringmaster of this circus in this moment.
Heading straight over. I know there's a lot of buzz and activity, but I'm not quite interested in that at the moment. I want to get the news that I'm here to hear. So head straight over to Swan and say, sorry, are you Icked? I have some questions about the Ashgrove.
I am Icked. Who am I speaking to?
I am Ember of the collectives, the Firbolgs of the Ashgrove. I've heard that potentially there's been a disaster in the area. Have you got any news that you can share?
You can see she hesitates for a moment before nodding.
There has been reports of a volcano erupting in the Shattered Isles to the east of Dromethion. Ashgrove, I'm not familiar with this place, but I'm guessing it is somewhere near there. I hope it is not on the island that exploded. The volcanic eruption was particularly violent, I am told. Has been quite a night for some of my messengers.
No, but it is not Oshia, but it is quite nearby to that area. Has there been any reports of damage on the mainland here, or has it been contained to the island at this stage?
The main damage was contained to the island. No direct consequence of the volcanic eruption has been recorded from the mainland or reported from the mainland as of yet. But I will share that the westerly wind is currently pushing a large ash cloud over the southern part of Oshia and the northern part of the elemental states. It is quite substantial, and it will be disrupting air traffic and air travel for some time. The volcano is spewing out large amounts of noxious fumes, as well as ash and dust.
Do we know what may have caused this? Has there been any activity in the area that led up to this?
I cannot confirm at this time what potential causes there may be.
I'm going to say with your 20 insight, Ember, which I'm happy to say is still up, she knows. She's not sharing it with a random who's just walked in, but she knows.
Yeah. I don't need you to confirm as a surety what has happened, but I need you to tell me what you know. I'm looking to go help if that is a possibility, and sooner rather than later.
Could you make me a persuasion check, please, Ember?
Sure can. Oh, that is
a natural 1 for a total of 4. Would you like to use your inspiration you've just been given?
100%.
I wondered if it might bring out the inspiration for this one.
Thank you very much.
What can I say except you're welcome for the inspiration? It's a 6.
No.
It's still a 6. You're fucked. There's no way.
I can only help so much.
A dice roll can save you now. You need it at least for inspirations.
As you sort of do this plea, You can see you already kind of lost her attention as you're trying to like get her attention back. You can see she leans over and listens, her long neck gracefully kind of like twisting around, almost snake-like a little bit the way her neck moves as she kind of moves her head down, listens to another one of her underlings, nods for a moment, looks up and goes, "You're still here?"
So when they're talking to the underlings, I'm assuming there's notes and things like that being passed side to side and everything like that. I couldn't persuade her in saying that.
Time to burn the notes, hey?
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm
I was
going to do that
joking.
as an intimidate. No, dead serious. They're not listening to me. I want the news that I want. You're not getting the news that you're getting. So
I love that last night you were told not to fuck with the guild, the Aarakocra Messenger Guild, and Ember's in there in the morning being like, "Tell me what I want, or I'll burn this fucking place down."
100%. I mean, like at this point in time, you've told me something there. I understand that you're not telling me something, and I mean,
it totally
I wouldn't
makes
be
sense.
thinking logically about this. So,
Is it you, or is it like
intimidation
Flicker kind of leans over, a little spark of like Flicker's breath ignites the note that they're holding on to?
Or I might do it, but in saying that, if I can do the intimidation portion of it, it will be set her on
Ali,
fire if she
Ali,
reacts to it.
Don't. We're not talking about Shubal Aarakocras. I'm currently working on some art of a Shubal Aarakocra. Don't you worry. I fucking love Shubils. Don't. No spoilers. No spoilers. I've got a plan. Don't you worry. I love the Shubil so much. I've got a very important Aarakocran character who's going to be a Shubil. Don't worry. Yes.
Yeah.
Ember.
So I'd light that note on fire, and before she even says anything else, I'd be like, "You've heard a bull in a china shop. Wait till you see a wildfire spirit in a messenger guild. I need to know what's happening."
Can you make me an intimidation check with advantage, please? That's fucking terrifying. As you just burn this in front of her. She's never been threatened enough. It's a natural 20.
No way.
Crazy.
Something adds to this, and I'm going to take you through what happens as you light this paper on fire. You watch as this assistant drops immediately. The paper doesn't even land on the floor. The flame from the very center spreads out and burns it like flash paper. You watch as the fire, and whatever this message was goes up in an instant. As both the swan Aarakocra's icked and this underling turn towards you and look at you, you feel this warmth from your shoulder, and as you kind of glance to your left a little bit, you see Flicker rising up on your shoulder. As Flicker's right arm grabs onto your hair, Flicker sort of spins around, pulling himself into this very like upright position, standing high with his wings splayed out, and you watch as fire begins to burn across Flicker's shoulders. The feathers, tiny little embers begin to shed from them as those flames you saw from Flicker last night burn in Flicker's eyes once again, and you watch as smoke begins to rise, flames dancing across Flicker's mouth as Flicker lets out this very low, exceptionally terrifying growl, building at the back of his very tiny little body. By the time it reaches his mouth, it is far larger than Flicker is, and even you in this moment, Flicker's a little bit scary when he wants to be. Flicker sensing your fear building on your, you're linked to Flicker. Flicker feels the same fear you do. In fight or flight situations, Flicker's gonna fight. And as Flicker begins to burn with flames around you, you watch as the swan Aarakocra gently pushes her assistant aside, pushing them off a little bit, and goes, "We have reports. Some reports that have come through that a large figure, a beard of flame, was seen at the base of the mountain. They placed a large structure up against the mountainside and hit it with a large hammer 2 or 3 days prior."
Do you have any descriptions of this hammer or this anyone that?
It was a fire giant. 7-8 feet tall, maybe even larger, 10. Fire burning around their shoulders, dressed in this layered dark armor. It was a fire giant, okay?
Okay. You don't have any other information as far as you went, don't know where he's gone, anything like that, just that he did this and then he's...
Just that they were seen around the island 2 or 3 days prior, and now the volcano has erupted. This is the second report we've had. Far to the north, around the islands of Northgard,
This figure was seen, again, 2 or 3 days prior to one of the volcanoes there, a dormant volcano erupting. I'm not an idiot. I can put 2 and 2 together.
Okay, so what I need from you is any reports of any fire giant, the Tempest Guild, I'm sure. Those reports are to come to the Tempest Guild when they come through. And I would also like, if this is something that you want, I'm sure that you have very detailed maps of all the areas, any other volcanoes potentially in the area, if you could point them out to me, I would be very grateful.
Well, fetch it for him, as she turns towards her assistant, who sort of nods. This very diminutive blue wren, Aarakocra, who rushes off. A moment later comes back with a few papers, hands them to the swan, who immediately just doesn't take them, looks and goes, "To him!" Watches the wren, very scared, holds out these papers for you to take.
Take them and investigate. I'm not going to even really... I don't want to say I'm not acknowledging the person there, but I'm just interested in my information. So take that across and look straight away at the notes that they've given me.
You can see that it looks like these are very detailed maps, Ember. Exceptionally detailed maps of a few different locations. 2 in the Shattered Isles, 1 to the far north of Oshia, and 1 of Balmia as well. The Dwarven continents, the continent that the mountain dwarves call home. All of them mark volcanoes, and you can see that someone has very handily written in the margins notations, names of people who are currently observing them. Aarakocra or Owlin currently observing these locations. Your natural 20 intimidation, you get the sense that you've kind of caught them so off guard in this moment. They're giving you things they normally would not give in public situations.
Okay. Turning to you, any reports from these people? I am Ember. I am at the Tempest Guild. If I am not there, you tell Mira, and she will be telling me we need to hear about this straight away. This is of high importance.
Yes, of course. We are here at the Aarakocra Messenger Guild. We are here to assist in any way that we can.
The Eris Messenger Guild, maybe. No, I wouldn't be Eris. They don't want to be directly tied. I'll stick with Aarakocra Messenger Guild. I know there's Owlin who work for it, but
yeah, here at the Aarakocra Messenger Guild, we are keen to work with adventurers, and such a storied group as the Tempest Guild, who helped save this world from Tiamat, it would be an honor to help in any way that we can. Please don't burn any of the things in here. There are a number of reports which are one of a kind at the moment.
Well, any of these other one of a kind reports as well that involve giants, please inform the Tempest Guild as well. This is something that's quite important to us right now.
This is unprecedented, but I will make every effort to ensure that information gets to the Tempest Guild as a matter of priority.
Okay. One last thing as well. Any other reports going out here about any Owlin, Aarakocra, anything like that, sightings or things?
Sightings of Owlin or Aarakocra?
You watch as she kind of looks around a bit confused.
Out of the ordinary, something that you might not have normally seen.
Not that I've seen this morning. No.
No Owlins with specific features or missing specific features or anything along those lines.
Well, unless they're a wanted criminal, in which case you can consult the wanted posters outside. Not that I'm aware of.
That's good to hear. If those reports come through, please filter them to me as well.
Right, okay.
Saying that, I'm just going to nod. I'm going to quickly walk past that wanted thing. I just want to see if there's Niles or Bart or anything like that. I just see if there's any kind of reports of, a wingless Owlin in the area. I don't want to.
None at all. The wanted posters seem to depict hardened criminals. You can see there's quite a number up on the posting board, including bounties for some of them. No Niles, no Bartholomew that you can see.
Okay, cool. So no one's looking potentially at this moment for them.
I know I'm not here, but out of my own curiosity, who is the most expensive bounty on the board?
who's the most expensive bounty on the board. Let's roll for it.
Yeah.
Simon, can you roll me 2 D100s, please?
Sure
Or if you want to
can.
roll one, but do you want to roll the other? Christian, do you want to roll
Yeah.
the other D100?
Yeah,
You can roll
the
one each.
One Piece world of
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that how we've got all these like epic like plot points, and like we're gonna be like, nah, let's just become bounty hunters and just down these
And we
guys.
just dropped
Alright.
everything.
Drop everything.
75 and 22.
Screw the volcanoes.
Okay, 75, 22, 75, 22. Okay. Okay, why not? Currently, and this is somewhat of a surprise, that the highest bounty, that's what you're looking for, right? The highest bounty on the boards. Yeah. The
That was
highest
interesting,
bounty is for 20,000 gold pieces. Quite a hefty sum of money. For someone known as Cutthroat Finnegan, it seems to depict a rather aggressive looking halfling. You can see curly hair shaved on one side, a large scar down across their right eye, a tattoo of a whole number of like teardrops that stretch underneath their eye and then all up over the shaved part of their head.
Wow.
And you can see even in the wanted poster, and this is a drawing, someone has drawn this like scowl on this halfling's face. They are wanted dead. Not dead or alive. They are wanted dead. There is a series of crimes, including murder, all the way down to desecration of a burial site. Like, it's quite a hefty list of crimes underneath this halfling.
Hold on.
Cutthroat Finnegan.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Cutthroat Finnegan. Let's I mean, all this saving the world stuff, you know, whatever. But 20,000 gold?
No,
you kidding
bro.
me?
I played a campaign in Eberron with the Boromar clan and like halflings that are evil. No, I don't want to fight an evil. I'm scared.
Too bloody right you don't. I'll fucking cut you. I'm Cutthroat Finnegan.
Let me guess, you'll cut my throat. Real original.
I do have like Dog the Bounty Hunter going through my head going, Firbolg the Bounty Hunter. I'm just thinking, I am Firbolg.
The bounty hunter. You know, it's hard to insult me with your throat fucking slit. Let's see how well you talk when I've cut your vocal cords.
Yeah.
Bend down so I can reach, you cunt.
Looking at that being like, that's interesting. And then, yeah, I'm running out. I've now spent half an hour here. It's quite early in the morning, but I want to get back and discuss with the team.
Back at the guild, as you arrive back with the rest of the group, I'm guessing slowly, one by one, you guys awaken. But given your night of shenanigans and fun, I need one final Constitution saving throw to see how well you wrap up the next morning. We saw how well you handled the alcohol during the night. Now it's time for the aftermath, shall we say?
Do I have the help action because of the water from Lyra?
I have changed the DC as a result of the water from Lyra.
Cool. That doesn't help me.
That's an 8, buddy.
That's an 8. I hadn't seen that.
Oh, no.
I haven't strengthened, but I'm gonna save it for the possible interaction with the flesh sculptor and not for my just hangover in the morning. So
That's fair.
hit
That's a
me,
good
hit
point.
me.
As you awaken, Bart, for a moment, you're pretty confident something awful must have happened to you. Are you back down in the mines somehow? Maybe all of this like journey up was a dream. You can feel your eyes are gritty as if you had coal dust in them. Your mouth is dry, your tongue scraping across the inside of your beak like sandpaper, like you've been breathing the hot air coming off the lava lake once again. And as your eyes slowly open, you realize that you are bathed in this luminescent, unholy light known as sunlight. As you sort of like peel your eyes open one by one slowly.
Rather than hooting, I'm going to screech at the window from my bedroom.
Okay, anyone who wasn't awake is awake by this point.
Let's start way.
Cover my head with the blankets.
Yeah, it's rough.
Do we all hear this?
Yeah. There's outside. You watch as like people on the street like startle as this like horrific owl screech echoes out through the morning air.
I mean,
as Bart does this.
Considering the target that Bart potentially has back, and the real threat of like assassins and other nefarious groups. Niles is just gonna run in there I'd be like ready to like fight.
I'm like
Bartholomew, you okay? Oh,
anime girl, like under the covers with just my head seen like a sausage roll. What? Who attacked me?
As soon as you come downstairs,
drunk.
Threign goes, good morning, Bart!
Yeah, cover myself again.
Threign picks up 2 of the plates and starts banging them together. Breakfast time!
My beak will push out. Niles, I've been poisoned. Help me.
I think that's what we call.
I'm gonna try to use lay on hands on myself, but it doesn't work.
No, as you do the magic, you feel the magic summon, and then it's like fucking Loki with the Iron Man stuff, and it just disappears. You're like, no, nothing happens. As you try and defib yourself, it's not working. The magic's not there.
I think yes, that's what they call a hangover, Bart.
A hang. Why?
Because you feel like you've been drawn and quartered and hung over a fence, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, some people say that when you drink too much, you're borrowing happiness from the other day or from the next day, and this is just kind of the punishment.
Oh, I had heard the ale sprites do not like it when you take too much of their ale, and so they wreak mischief inside your stomach, dancing up and down, and then when you sleep, they come and pour sand in your eyes.
You know, I can see that. I would do something like that.
The ale spirits are tricksy little things.
We went to a
Threign just
party
happy to just
with
have fun.
the school students, and then we went to the funeral, and I was talking to the wife.
The what? The funeral?
Yeah, there's a funeral for Davian, and I met his wife.
Sure. Yes.
No, that was innkeeper. You danced on her tables, made her very angry, and then you were carried out by students who seemed to celebrate your anarchy.
We can't go back there, by the way.
Yes.
Well, Ember and I can.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you weren't there. Missed a bit of fun there, Threign, I must say.
It is no fun without me there.
Yeah, that's true. But yes, Bartholomew, perhaps we should fetch you something to. Do you feel like you could? Maybe, Lyra, do you want to get a little bit more?
Why is my bed wet as well? Like really wet.
Are you? Ooh. You seem.
He didn't
Did you
dry
sleep
up
with your
after the bath.
Yes. Did you sleep in your armor? Oh, yes, you did. Oh. Yes. Well, you see, you're really keen for a bit of a clean, and you decided to have a bath, fully suited up, might I add. It seems like you haven't taken that off, and it.
I'm gonna slowly get a bit foul magic. I wouldn't do that. With my blanket still over my head, I'll slowly trudge out of the room. Lyra, where's the treasury room?
What?
Why?
I just wanted. The tattoos are a bad idea. You
were sober for that.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I didn't think it through. I can't focus myself enough across all my things now.
Someone forgot to check attunement requirements and has now got too many attunements. Someone fucked up.
I want to see. I want to see if I can.
It's down the hole, but
things. Thank you.
it's down the hole, but it'll only let you take out what you've what's in your account.
I'm sorry I can never talk to someone, and I'll just start slowly shuffling down the hall with my blanket.
Can I pass him just some water and just be like, just drink this on the way. He'll feel better for it.
Yeah.
Should we get some breakfast?
Some juice. You can pass him some orange juice or apple juice if you wanted, Ali. So at least that he's getting water and some sugars into his system.
Yeah, and then I'm like, Niles, if you get something oily, something greasy, salt, you know.
Do we have an alchemy jug in the party?
Straight mayonnaise.
Hello.
Yeah, I was going to say straight mayo. Serve me right up. But yeah, I would like to head to the treasury to attempt to see if I can swap out the Belt of Dwarven Kind and the Dawn Blade for another relic that they may have that doesn't require attunement.
So you're looking to try. So I mean, the treasury doesn't really hold a lot of magic items or artifacts. Tempest Guild traditionally kind of goes through stuff very, very quickly, and what isn't needed or used generally gets traded on. The treasury is going to contain gold and other items that are tradables, not so much magic items. The best.
More like an armory then?
Yeah, you want to talk to Howes or Griswold if you're looking to sort of swap magic items. And you already know that you've got to have a chat with Howes once she's got the rest of the magic items together anyway. So we can do that as part of the main trade. If you wanted to even include them as part of the value, I can have a bit of a look and we'll find you something that you can get from there and get commissioned. If she wants to work on that way, you guys visit the Flesh Sculptor.
I don't mind like not role playing it, but just hand waving. I just wanted to do that before we leave. That way I've got it for wherever we're about to head.
If you want to keep the Dawn Blade with you for the time being, when you get back, so like, because obviously Howes needs a bit of time to work through stuff and to get stuff organized. If you wanted to keep the Dawn Blade with you, if you let her know that you're going to basically trade this in for something that's not attunable, she'll wait till you get back and then do a trade. So she'll create something for you. Especially if you hand over the Belt of Dwarven Kind, she'll work on something straight away.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. So you can keep the Dawn Blade with you when you guys get back from the Flesh Sculptor.
Well, I'll give both. Just now, I don't have a need to have them on me. I don't want to lose them or get them stolen, and I can't attune to it anyway. So it's just a longsword. I'd rather use my Odachi.
Yeah, fair enough. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Awesome. I'll make a note that they've been handed over. Take them out of your inventory. I'll make a note of those, and I'll add them to the pot that you've given Howes. And yeah, we'll go through some magic items that you can get. Ember, don't even with whatever magic item we find for Bart, you're not going to need to give over any more gold for the moon sickle. Like, it's covered. There's quite a few things you guys have handed over and bartered with now, so it'll be fine.
I've got funds as well, so we can figure it out.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go through that behind the scenes. As you all have your breakfast, get ready. The time ticks on. You don't see Mira. It looks like she's maybe had to get up a little bit earlier. Head somewhere. You do have a chat. Oh yeah.
Is Ember back at this point or not?
Yeah, Ember gets back as you guys are all sort of waking up and heading down, having breakfast. Ember would probably beat most of you back, given he's only gone for half an hour and kind of woke up at dawn. You come downstairs to see Ember going through what looks like some very detailed maps, sipping a coffee, like eating some breakfast as you examine these maps, Ember.
Early riser there, Ember.
Only when I have to be. I think there's something going on. I don't think I know there's something going on with the fire giants. In the Southern Isles. I'm trying to figure out what is happening and where it's happening next.
Family okay?
What makes you do that?
To be honest with you, it was a bit of a premonition. But I did head down to the messenger guild, and they confirmed that there's been a large eruption volcano across the Isles from where my home is. So I was investigating that and have found out there's been sightings of fire giants that look like they're setting this off for some reason. I know that we've been debating about where we go after we've seen the sculptor and what have you, but I think we should go and investigate this if everyone else is happy to do so.
As a priority, I mean, your family's there. Of course we'd go there next.
No.
100%.
Perfect. Once Mira's back, we're going to be getting reports from the Messenger Guild now. I kind of didn't persuade them, but I mean, they've decided that they will share some information. And hopefully these reports will keep coming through to us. So just need to let Mira know everything as well.
How did you acquiesce these reports, if I might ask?
I'm a very friendly person who everyone wants to share information. And I simply asked a couple times maybe, but
it is Ember. That kind of tracks.
I'm gonna inside check it because I looked out the map and I see like the notes and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah, you can insight check that. Ember, that's not a lie per se, but it definitely is more of a persuasion check for sure.
17.
Look, it was a fiery interaction. It was a little bit heated. There may have been things burnt. But look, we have the information. We have these names. It doesn't sound like as well there's any reports of anything about Bart coming out or being in the city as well. So
you asked about that. Oh, good.
I tried to cover a few things, but to be honest with you, my main focus is there.
If I'm being watched, though, secretly, would they openly tell you about that?
I feel like the person there was being quite open with me at the time. So, I look, potentially, yes. But I was pretty
Well,
convinced.
thank you for checking in either way.
It was good. I can see here that I think this map might have been something they didn't want to part ways with. I can see little notations here that they're watching. The areas watching these areas?
They are watching these areas. I mean, two of them, I believe Owen mentioned that there was a few sites. So two of them have already had sightings of a fire giant, from the sounds of it, the same fire giant with a hammer, which was...
Not a collection of them, a single fire giant by itself.
From the sounds of it, the reports were the same fiery red beard that appeared a couple of days prior to the eruptions. So,
wow.
I would like to go to my hometown to make sure everything's okay and then venture across. But judging by what we're seeing, there may be another volcano around this area that could be the next one to go off.
Question for Owen.
Hello.
Is the fire giant being in the south of Nostea, or Oshia, I should say, does that run is that contrary to where we thought the fire giants were?
So I mean, you didn't know exactly where the fire giants were. You'd heard reports of volcanic activity up towards the north, which is marked on this map as well. The fact that this most recent eruption has been far to the south. This is the first one south of the equator.
It's weird, right?
And potentially, because you've had two eruptions up north, very, very close together. This one's off by itself down in the south. And if the places that the Aarakocra Guild are watching, the Messenger Guild are watching, if they are locations of interest, then it's also as far east as Balmia. Like, this means that the fire giants are much more spread out and possibly accessing areas far further afield than you thought they were.
That's what I'm thinking, because like every other giant, I mean, obviously we've only seen the hill giants and the stone giants. They've all been quite close together, or like as far as when we know, their proximity has been quite close. Yeah. So the fact that there's like all of these things kind of going off at once is kind of concerning. DM,
can I noble taught? I'm talking about some of the nations around the world. I'd like to think that I'm knowledgeable enough to having a chance of maybe passing something like this, or having a chance of rolling for it. Would I be able to know or check or remember if Nostea has volcanic ley lines like our real world Ring of Fire?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. That
cool.
would be, I'm going to say this falls under a history or a nature check, your choice.
Yeah.
Yes, there are tectonic plates. Absolutely. Yes. So, I mean, that knowledge is common knowledge.
I'm using my inspiration. That's a natural one.
It's a natural one. So what you know with a natural one is that there are ley lines that give your chakras power, and you can tap into those to heal yourself.
Wow.
Okay. Here's what you know.
Oh dear.
But you're pretty sure volcanoes happen when the fire god is angry. No, cool. Your knowledge of the ley lines, your knowledge of not ley lines, but your knowledge of like fault lines between tectonic plates and friction points is pretty limited. Geography wasn't a major focus of yours. It's not an area that you particularly enjoyed. You know that you were taught this at some point, but you really didn't care and have not retained that information to the present day.
Okay, the idea will be in my mind that maybe that's a goal of his, trying to ignite the world. Just as a worst case scenario is that's Bart's thing, pessimistic planning.
Who needs
Why does everyone want to destroy the world?
Why do they want to? Well, I mean, you've made a massive leap there from like 2 or 3 volcanoes erupting to like scorched earth.
Yeah, that's what Bart does. Yeah,
it's not. I mean, you need a lot more. So, like, just for context, right? Like the worst volcanic eruption event that happened on Earth was not so much the volcanoes that were the problem, but it's called a flood basalt event, and it happened in the fossil record around one of the worst mass extinction events that we know of, but it happened over a long period of time. We're talking millions of volcanic activity, like thousands of volcanoes detonating all one after the other as this incredible amount of energy is kind of released from the earth, like millions of liters of magma pouring out, huge amounts of ash and smoke. And it was not so much the volcanic eruptions that were the problem, but all the ash in the atmosphere that we think might have triggered a volcanic winter. But like to trigger a flood basalt event, you need to be detonating thousands of volcanoes for a long period of time to basically block out the atmosphere, to starve out the plant life from sunlight. But it is possible. There is precedent for it, 100%. So like I get why your mind went there. Fair
Bart
enough.
will, as we're sort of, I'm guessing, making our way to the airship, where we're
You were
going
told to meet outside
start.
the front. So as you guys finish your breakfast and head
Okay,
outside the front,
perfect.
you can see that there is indeed a very, very chipper-looking Air Ganassi waiting for you, dressed in very loose-fitting clothing. You can see their hair's kind of like rocking about, moving as this cloud-like hair shifts in the morning breeze. And as she turns and sees you, she gives you guys a very excited wave. It goes like, "Hey guys, are you the Tempest Guild? I've been waiting. Am I taking you guys on the air, Skipper?
Sure.
Are you guys ready for an adventure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Check.
Yeah,
What was that?
insight check.
Insight check.
No one's this happy.
It's way too early.
Oh my god.
It's 10 a.m. Come on.
Oh,
That's a 6. Nah, it's all good, Bart. Well, no, actually, with a 6, you're like, man, hard to read. 26 on Lyra, 21 on Niles. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, I mean, Lyra and Niles, she's acting. She's putting this on. You get the sense that given the last-minute nature of Mira's request to get you guys an airship, a little air skipper to get you over to the Flesh Sculptor, down south to Wilwodge, she's had to hire like a tourist operation. And so like, given that it's so last minute, this is who she was able to get on very short notice. Probably because the service you're about to receive is not in high demand.
Lovely.
Can
Yeah.
Lyra do a little pat on the shoulder and just be like, "Hey, I'm really grateful that you picked up this job. I mean, I know it was like super last minute and everything. Like, and you know, we're not tourists or anything.
Oh, we need the money so badly.
We are definitely paying. We are definitely paying. But you
Oh, it's already been paid for. But I mean, if you want a tip,
Tourist
you could take a tip at the
no.
end. I've got loads of exciting facts that I can share with you.
Actually, I will always be down for some good facts.
Fuck yeah, let's go. And with that, she turns and begins like skipping off
I was like,
towards
I'm
the
going to
airship
take one
docks.
for the team.
We need to go to house and get our things.
Yes. Oh,
So
yes.
you know that it's going to be a little bit longer to get your stuff from house.
Oh,
She's
a
still
little bit more?
working on it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he did say he was going to
It's
take
not like a
couple
6-hour
days.
thing where she's like is able to craft you all this stuff in like 6 hours.
Oh, well, I thought like in the
Yeah.
morning as well. And like,
She's
Um,
you'll get it when you get back in the afternoon.
okay, cool.
Bart would like to approach, I guess, like a nearby, whatever sort of plant life he can find, a vine growing down from like a nearby wall or some grass on the ground, and just take a second for his once-a-day free use, but sort of crossing his fingers, hoping that there's no drama for once. His once-a-day free use of bringing Kong Chi into this realm.
I'm going to be an exceptionally nice
message,
DM.
No message.
You're about to go on a very small ship. If you need Kong Chi, I would wait until you get. So imagine
Oh,
what
so
you're
there's
about
not
to.
like a deck on it that he can...
This isn't
A
a
mini.
big. This is a big sky ship. This is a sky skipper. Imagine basically a very small, like catamaran. This is a small sky skipper. This is
Okay,
going to be
I'll
like
hold it off until we land.
10 people maximum on the ship. Like, yeah, I'm going to be a really nice DM and not be a dick and be like, okay, great. And then when you get there, like, Kong Chi won't fit on the ship. I'm going to be really nice to go, this is going to be very small. You've heard of sky skippers. You know they're pretty small. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to wrap up then as you guys make your way over to the airship docks, walking past the Aarakocra Messenger Tower. For some reason, yeah, you watch as one of the people sort of running around inside gives Ember a bit of a fearful look. That same blue wren that you threatened. Ember rushes back inside as you approach and vanishes from view. But as you walk past the tower and get towards the edge of the airship docks, you can see a very, very, let's say, adequately maintained sky skipper. Quite a small boat. It hasn't got in beautiful letters a name on the side of it. Instead, it's just called Oxenfurt Tours 02. It's not really even been properly named, and you can see that there's a really badly faded painting of a halfling giving a big thumbs up on the inside of on the side of the ship, like this painting of a very friendly halfling face, and it says "Great experience, no refunds" underneath it.
Bro, they've got connections to Finnegan. I know it. I can tell.
And that I think is a good place to wrap up for tonight as you board your sky skipper. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this session of Return of the Giants. I am so excited to play one of my favorite NPCs next session, the Flesh Sculptor. I really missed playing this absolutely horrifying NPC. For those who don't know yet what they're about to get themselves into, which is Dave, Simon, and Christian, all three have no idea what they're about to go through with the Flesh Sculptor. I am so fucking ready to traumatize them. So, thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. For those of you who are watching us on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. Looks like we do have... I think I saw... did I see that Crit and Miss were streaming tonight? I thought I saw them before. Oh, there they are. Are they doing a debrief of Curse of Strahd? Yeah, go on. Let's go jump in with
Oh,
Crit
yeah,
and
that's
Miss.
the one I'm playing on. They're going through characters one by one through like their backstory, inspiration, stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like Sven and Moo are currently going through stuff. Sven's the DM, isn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks like they're going through stuff. Awesome. I will get that raid going across. For those of you joining us on YouTube or listening to the podcast, thank you so much. If you're listening to the recorded session and you live in Southeast Queensland, I really hope that the storm hasn't been that bad. Hello from the past, you in the future. Fingers crossed it wasn't too bad. I really hope it was all okay.
We are currently blissfully ignorant.
We have no idea how bad it's going to be at this stage. The modeling doesn't look great, so fingers crossed it's all okay. Stay safe, stay well, everybody. We will see you all again very, very soon. But until then, farewell for now. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.